Hi, guys. Welcome to the Empower Hour topic sessions. Very excited to talk about this topic today, the scariest thing you can do. My name's Amy Miller. And if you guys saw my post earlier, I shared that I was going to talk about the scariest thing that you can ever do, but I kept you in a little bit of suspense. I didn't tell you, or maybe a lot of suspense. I didn't tell you exactly what that is, but I did share that if you don't do this thing, that it will hold you back in your life and in your career. But good news, once you do this thing, the path ahead gets much easier. So what is it? And I should share, of course, that this is my humble opinion of the scariest thing that we can do. But it has been for me. And I think that likely what I'll share today will resonate with some of you as well. So this, oh, wait a minute. Oop. I don't know if this is live or not now because it says, okay, now I am live. It said end broadcast, and then it said you are not live. So I'm learning. This week, I'm learning lots of what not to do. Oh, yeah, I am live, I think, for about a minute. But anyhow, maybe I'll go back and delete part of it. In case there was a mess up on the front end, welcome to Empower Hour Topic Sessions. I'm Amy Miller, and I'm excited today to talk about the scariest thing that you can ever do. It's likely not what you think. If you do the thing, your life will get easier, both in career and personal life. And if you don't do the thing, it'll hold you back. But hopefully a little bit of what I'll talk about today will help you. Okay, to do the thing. So what is the thing? I believe that the scariest thing we can ever do actually is be ourselves. Now, maybe not for everyone, but I do think for a lot of us, and I see this fear in a lot of people, even coaching clients and other candidates that I speak with that are reaching out to me for advice, challenges that they're coming across in the interview process. But let's back up a little bit and start with, why is being ourselves sometimes so scary? Well, I think it's because it is a basic human need to have connection, to be connected, not with everybody, but with some people. Now, I don't think that we need connection with everybody. We're not going to click with everyone. Every person, every opportunity is not for us. And I think that's a good thing, because if it were, I think life would be pretty chaotic, and there's a lot of things that we would not get done with all of this input if we had too many friends and too many job opportunities, and we only need one significant other, hopefully. But it'd be too much mental clutter for us to have any real solid, significant output. So it's okay that not everything is for everyone. And also, life would be very boring, because then we would all be the same. But the thing is, we want to be wanted. We want to be liked. We want to be moved forward in the interview process. We want to win the job. But do we really want the job? Oftentimes we don't. I've had some conversations with past clients that I'll give you an example of. Do I want to do that today? Let's see. Okay, yeah, I'll give. Sometimes I get just a bunch of ideas at once and kind of have to sort them out. But one time I was speaking with someone who was really bummed that she didn't get the job. And I kind of just knew that she didn't really want the job. I could just pick up on the energy, but she didn't know that she didn't want the job. So I asked her a series of questions, and she very quickly came to the conclusion that she didn't even want that job. She really was just wanting to feel wanted, and that really had to do with another challenge. It's okay. It's a human thing, to want connection, to want to be wanted. But really, you're going to go further by being yourself, by being aware of what it is you want, and by being, what I like to say, 1000% yourself. Here's a question that I often get from folks who are going through the interview process. And this is from, people that are in mid-level in their career or very established in their career, even interviewing for leadership positions in, different industries. They will ask me, what does the hiring manager want to hear in regards to a specific question? Well, first of all, I don't know because I don't have a crystal ball. And even the best recruiters, because I used to recruit, don't know. Here's the thing. Okay, let's say that you do have a crystal ball. You do know exactly what the hiring manager wants to know, and what every person that you interview with, that the answers that they want. And so you give them the answers that they're looking for. And then you get into the role, and a pit starts growing into your stomach, because you didn't do your due diligence to find out, wait a minute, is this what I want? I encourage you to shift your focus there to what you want when you are exploring new opportunities, when you are interviewing with folks that are going to be your potential new teammates. You want to pay attention to how you're feeling, and you want to get more curious and draw more attention to what it is you want. Because if you get into a role and then you find out it's not for you, you're going to end up in the same position, I'm sure, as you were before, unhappy and looking. Whenever we're ready for a change, it's because we're uncomfortable. We're either not challenged and ready to grow, or we're maybe finally just acknowledging that this is not the place for us, or we're acknowledging that bigger goal, that bigger dream, something that we really want to be doing. So the way to make sure that you're moving in the right direction for you, that you're attracting the people and opportunities that do align with you, is to be yourself. I'm going to give kind of a silly example that I like to share because I just think it breaks it down very clearly. Let's say that you are a really good plumber, best in your field, really, really solid, but you think other people want a carpenter. So you put on your resume that you're a carpenter. And somebody, let's say somebody is looking for a really, really good plumber. Well, guess who they're not going to find? You. They're not going to find you. So yes, we want to be liked, we want to be wanted, but the only way to have that connection is to be yourself. Because when we broadcast a message that's not authentically us, we draw to us people that like a fake us. Jobs, companies that we don't align with, that we're trying to fit in with what they want. And then we don't feel good. And the real reason that doesn't feel good is because we're actually denying ourselves. We're not accepting ourselves. I understand it's really hard to do. It's one of the most challenging things that I've ever, done myself, because I had some people in my life that were really supposed to be the closest people in my life that were not accepting me. And so I developed this habit from a young age to not be myself. And so that developed into years and years of dealing with anxiety attacks and depression because I wasn't being myself. And so when I finally decided, this is too much, this problem is too big, it's too uncomfortable, I'm just going to have to do the scary thing and be myself. And what's the worst that can happen? The people and opportunities that we think we want or we need can fall away from us. And of course, that's exactly what happened. But it ended up being much better for me because then I'm accepting myself. And I remember the moment, it was a pivotal moment. Maybe write that down, something to think about later. Start to pay attention so that you will notice what I like to call pivotal moments in your life. These are moments where you have an opportunity to show up differently, to respond differently to a challenge. And then whatever way you choose to respond is going to dictate the path forward. So I was very uncomfortable dealing with, depression, anxiety I got over the anxiety a long time ago, but the empty, not really happy feeling, it stuck with me for a long time until I decided to just be myself. And if people don't like it, well then, okay, they're not the place for me. And this is where I see, the same challenge in people's career. They'll want to fit into a box that's not a fit. And so then they don't feel happy. They feel out of alignment. So the best way to attract the people and opportunities that are meant for you is to be yourself so that people can see the real you. Like if I'm on here today talking about, okay, what do people want to hear? Well, I'm not passionate about this subject and I don't know anything about it, but I think it's what people want to hear. Then the people who want to hear that will tune in, will want to connect with me more, even though I'm not interested in our supposed common ground here that I'm broadcasting out there. So what am I going to do? I'm going to attract more and more people with whom I don't align. And then I'm going to feel empty because there's no real connection because I'm not being myself. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to keep this one short today because I'm also doing a webinar tomorrow on overcoming fear. Overcome fear, transition your career. If you guys want to tune in for that and hear more about this kind of thing and also come away with some actionable tips on how to identify and overcome fear, join me for that. So 12 p.m. Eastern, I have the link on my website and on all of my social media profiles too, but I'll drop it in the comments here for you too if you guys want to sign up for that. But Let's talk about boundary setting. So this can be super challenging. This is an example of doing the really scary thing of being yourself, because sometimes we've all experienced this when somebody crosses a line or maybe they strike a chord. So there can be a difference. I think there is a difference between the two, because sometimes when somebody's striking a chord, it's drawing our attention to a challenge that we need to work on, like deep within ourselves, and it's coming up, so that a lot of times it'll be the same problem that keeps showing up in different areas of our lives, different situations, different people, and it's drawing our attention to the problem, so that we give our that part of ourselves that needs the attention some attention, and we fix the problem. We move through the problem. When we ignore our problems, they just get bigger. So sometimes that's what it is when somebody is striking a chord with something that they say. That's a different topic. But sometimes somebody is attempting to cross a boundary, and maybe they intend to, maybe they don't know that they're doing it. So this would be kind of a pivotal moment. Let's say you start in a new job and you don't like how you are being treated from the get-go. What are you going to decide to do? What you decide to do is that decision moment. That's a pivotal moment, because it's going to dictate what happens, your path forward, what happens next. If you don't establish a solid, healthy boundary by being yourself and accepting your feelings and saying, actually, this is not cool. This is not how I do things. I'm not comfortable with this. You're more likely to let your boundaries be crossed moving forward. And it will get harder and harder to establish that solid boundary. If, on the other hand, you do what scares you, which is be yourself and speak up when necessary. It depends on the situation. Sometimes the relationship or the job is a place that something that we want to stay in, that we want to try. In that case, you want to speak up and you want to be yourself. And why that's scary is because that person or that opportunity could go away. But if you're not speaking up and you're not being the real you to keep people and opportunities around, it's not a real connection, and you're going to feel unhappy and out of alignment. When you do the scary thing, when you say, it's not okay to treat me this way, or this is, the kind of, this is the way that I need to work, you're setting the tone, and you're standing up for yourself. You're honoring your emotions, and you're going, either you guys will be able to come to a common ground, or they'll go away and you'll learn that it's not the right place for you. But if we're trying to mold and let our boundaries be crossed so that we fit in with other people and opportunities, we're going to feel out of alignment. Yeah. I think that's it for today. I think I'm going to keep it pretty short. So if you guys are resonating with, oh no, I'm going to share one more example, and then I'll hop off here. If you're in sales, then you have likely been to a national sales meeting before. Or if you're not, let's say you have hung out with a group of people before, friends or acquaintances, and you get home from the meeting or from your group of friends, and you just feel really crummy. Likely the reason is those were not your people. And so you didn't feel like you could be yourself around them. And so you spent the time not being yourself, or as much of yourself, your real self, as you could be. The reason that feels so bad, if you peel back a bunch of layers, is actually because you're not accepting yourself. But when we surround ourselves with people and opportunities with whom we don't align, it's not a real connection and we don't feel good. So if you're not sure if you're in the right place career-wise, or you can, use the example in your personal life too, other areas, pay attention to your emotions. They will tell you how you feel. I like to say life gets easier when you navigate it like a maze. I'm stuck here. This doesn't feel good. I'm going to go this way. Oh, I'm flowing. This is easier. Because with the right people and opportunities, you're going to have that connection. And if you trust yourself and your instincts, you'll keep moving in the right direction and away from what doesn't. And then you'll find what in the direction that feels right and away from what doesn't. And then you will be much more likely to find what does. So yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So that's it for today, for the Empower Hour today. Tune in next week. We'll figure out what that topic is going to be about. But if you want to hear more on overcoming fear, tune in. You can join me tomorrow for the webinar. So again, that's going to be 12 o'clock Eastern. And you guys will come away with, hopefully, my goal for the talk is to help you shift your perspective around fear, Write this down. When you change your perspective, you change your life. I have so many examples of powerful examples of how that's true. And I'll share some of them tomorrow. And then I'm going to be also sharing some specific tips that you can, action steps that you can implement to help you identify fear and overcome it. And then a deeper understanding of why it's important. So that's what I'll be talking about tomorrow. And let's see if I can. Uh-oh, I messed up. I was going to try and drop the link in the chat, but I accidentally maximized my screen here, and I can't do it. So if you need the link, and you're welcome to message me, and I'll share it with you. So, all right, have a great day, guys. See you next week.